Hello student. Okay, now in continuation of the second part of chapter 4, Indian National Movement. Okay, I remember we have stopped in page number 61. Okay, that is difference between the methods of the moderates and the assertive radical nationalists. So before you start listening to the explanation, as stated beforehand, you have to get ready with your textbook, alright, and with your pencil so that you can underline the year as well as the events and some of the important names as well. Alright, so today we'll be starting with the new topic, that is the Swadeshi and boycott movement that took place in year 1905 and 1907. Alright, so here basically we are talking from page number 61. Okay, so I want all of you to get ready with your textbook, page number 61. So see, as stated here, we have to know some of the fact and importance of Swadeshi and boycott movement. Okay, so see, question like who did the partition, why partition took place, and what effect took place, and how people reacted when Bengal was partitioned. Okay, so that is all about the first slide. And moving forward, we have the formation of the Muslim League. Okay, the formation of the Muslim League. Okay, you see that the picture out here is MA Jinnah. Okay, so see, the main reason of partition of Bengal led by the British government was to deprive India for gaining independence. Okay, so see here the main reason, right? We're talking about the main reason. Okay, so the main reason of the partition of Bengal led by British government was to deprive India for gaining independence, and also the main motive was to divide Bengal in religion and language. Alright, so our freedom fighter didn't know the real motive behind the partition of Bengal. Okay, alright, why British they want to partition Bengal, okay, into two. One is the West Bengal and another one is the Bangladesh. Alright, so see the partition took place in 1903. Okay, that is the British government declared partition. Alright, and then in 1905, finally partition took place. Okay, the partition was remember the year, the partition was declared in the year 1903. Okay, that is by the British government, but actually the partition took place in 1905. All right, so that is the actual partition that took place. So it was it was during the time of Lord Curzon. Okay, remember the name Lord Curzon. It was during the time of Lord Curzon. Okay, so see the main the partition took place in two main motif. Okay, one is the Bengal. Okay, the cases of religion. Bengal in the cases of religion, that is the Western Bengal, they consist of Hindu majority, and the Eastern Bengal, they consist of Muslim majority, and that is how partition took place, mainly because cases of religion. That is number one. And number two is the language. Okay, the language in the Bengal that was spoken in Bengal, okay, before partition took place, that is Bengali speaking majority and Hindi speaking majority. Okay, so that is all about the fact and importance of Swadeshi and boycott movement. And talking here, we are talking about the formation of Muslim League. Okay, so see the British has followed a deliberate policy of divide and rule. Okay, so in India after the revolt of 1857, in the beginning they discriminated against the Muslim, and they were kept out of the army and the services. All right, so Muslim, they were deprived for any kind of what do we call opportunity, okay, in the government. And because of that reason, formation of Muslim League started, and it was started by MA Jinnah. Okay, as you can see in the picture, it was started by MA Jinnah. So on 1st October 1906, a Muslim delegation led by His Highness the then Aga Khan made the Viceroy Lord Minto at Shimla. Alright, so the Aga Khan was an extremely rich person and led a life of luxury in Europe. So he was accompanied by Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka, now called Dhaka. Okay, Dhaka. Dhaka means, you know where is Dhaka? It is Bangladesh. Okay. They were encouraged by the viceroy, and within 3 months, on 30th December 1906, the Muslim League was formed. Alright, so the Muslim League was formed in 30th December 1906. Okay, please remember the year. You'll find in page number 64. Okay, 30th December, written in bold letter. 30th December 1906, the Muslim League was formed. Okay, the formation of Muslim League. Okay, the ideology of political exclusiveness in the name of religious gave birth to All India Muslim League in the session of All Indian Mohammedan Educational Conference that was held in Dhaka, as I've explained. And the All India Muslim League was finally set up in December 30, 1900. So that is just a repetition, but for you to better understand, I've put a picture out here. Okay. So see, what were the main objective of Muslim League? These were basically three main objective of the Muslim League. Okay, so it's very similar to your textbook as well. The point number one, that is to promote among the Muslim of India, that is the feeling of loyalty to the British government, and to remove any misconception that may arise as to the intention of the government with regard to Indian government. So that is the first objective of the Muslim League, followed by to protect and advance the political right of the Muslim of India and to represent their needs and aspiration to the government. So that is the second point. And the last third objective is to prevent the rights among the Muslim of India of any feelings of hostility towards other communities without prejudice to the aforesaid object of the league. So that is the main objective of the Muslim League. Okay, so why Muslim League was formed is because of these three main objectives. So please remember that. And coming back to the emergence of Gandhi. See, we all know the story of Gandhiji, right? So see, Gandhiji, he was a famous freedom fighter. Not only that, he is regarded as the father of the nation, right? So see, the full name of Gandhi is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Okay, he was born in the year 2nd October 1969 at Porbandar in Kathiawar in Gujarat. So you'll find in page number 65. Okay, so we call it as Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so his full name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. All right, and he was born in the year, I repeat, 2nd October 1869 at Porbandar in Kathiawar in Gujarat. Okay, that is the birthplace of Mahatma Gandhi, and the year he was born, 1869. Okay, so that is all about Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so see, he was the son of the Diwan of a small state. All right, so his mother Putli Bai was a very religious lady. All right, and had a deep influence on him. Gandhiji went to England in 1888 to study law. He came back to India in 1891. So after completing his study, he started practice as a lawyer. He started practicing as a lawyer, first in Rajkot and then in Bombay. After this, he went to South Africa and started practicing there too. It was in South Africa that he was attached to politics. He was shocked by the condition of the Indians there and the racist and discriminatory policy of the South African government. He decided to fight against injustice. He based his fight on the principle of non-violent resistance. He organized the Natal Indian Congress and launched a campaign against the South African government. After a successful and significant political career in South Africa, Gandhiji finally returned to India in January 1915. Okay, so that is all about the life of Gandhiji. So from there, we came to know that Gandhiji was a well-educated person. Not only that, his father was also a social worker, okay, and a very rich fellow. So, okay, that is regarding to emergence of Gandhiji. Okay, so after Gandhiji came to India, he started lots of movement. Okay, in India, so he started non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and Dundee March, the famous Dundee March, right? And also the Quit Indian movement. Okay, so those were some of the famous movement that was carried out by Gandhiji. Okay, so coming back to the Roundtable Conference. Okay, now we are coming back to the Roundtable Conference. Roundtable Conference. In 1930, the government decided to hold first roundtable conference in London. Okay, so the first roundtable conference was held in London. That is during the year 1930. All right. So the government released Gandhi on January. When he was carrying out, when Gandhiji was carrying out lots of activities against British government by setting up kind of movement, okay, civil disobedience movement, he was arrested by the British government. Okay, so in the roundtable conference, finally he was he was released by the British government. Okay, so the first roundtable conference took place in London. All right, so it was during the year 1930. Okay, so the government released Gandhi in January 1931. So on March 5, 1931, an agreement was concluded between Gandhiji and then the Viceroy Lord Irwin. Okay, this pact is known as the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Okay, so for that you'll find in page number 70 written in bold letter. Okay, so please underline that the word Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Okay, so see, okay, now moving forward we have the Quit India movement. Okay, we have the Quit India movement. So see, these are some of the Quit Indian movement that was carried out by Gandhiji. Okay, basically with three main aim and objective. So the first one is the creep machines that started in the year March 1942, and the other one is the war situation worsened in the summer of 1942. And point number three, Gandhiji firmly believed that an orderly and peaceful withdrawal of the British can save India from internal anarchy and foreign aggression. So, see, the Quit India movement started in 1942. Okay, in March 1942. The reason for starting the same were the following. So, these are some of the reason why the Quit India movement started in India. Okay, in short. So these are some of the facts that I want you guys to remember. Okay, so maybe you won't find in your textbook some, but these are some of the points that you have to remember. See, I told you right, the partition of Bengal, or yeah, mainly take place because of two reasons. That is cases of religious and cases of language. Okay, so see, at one point they were Bengali speaking majority, and other point they were Hindi speaking majority. Okay, so see, during the boycott movement, Swadeshi and boycott movement, boycott of foreign goods started. Okay, that is not using foreign goods and using indigenous product. And see, the main emphasis were Swadeshi on or indigenous enterprise. Okay, so these were some of the boycott of these were some of the boycott of Swadeshi and boycott. So likewise in 16 October 1905, it was regarded as the day of mourning. Okay, it was day of mourning. Okay, and like Vande Mataram, right? You know who is the author of Vande Mataram? It is Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Okay, so he composed Vande Mataram. Okay, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. That is in the language of Sanskrit. So novel and also novel like Anandmat. Okay, so those were some of the literary work that was composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Okay, so in 1896, Indian National Congress session Vande Mataram was first sung. Okay, it was first sung in the year 1896. That is during the time of Indian National Congress session. Okay, and Anar Sonar Bangla. Okay, it was composed by R.N. Tagore. Okay, Rabindranath Tagore composed national anthem for Bangladesh. And in 1906 session, there is the Calcutta session. Okay, President Dada Bhai Nehruji. So he became the first president of the Congress National Party. Okay, that is Dada Bhai Nehruji. So his main goal was Swaraj. All right. So coming back to the boycott movement, we have government school, college, court, municipalities were boycotted. And also Bal Gangadhar Tilak used two important festivals, that is Shivaji and Ganpati festival, to boycott British good. Okay, and during the time of Swadeshi also led to education, national college school. That is during the time of Swadeshi movement, Bengal National College was started. Okay, and the president during the time was the first principal of Bengal National College was Aurobindo Ghosh. Okay, so he was the first president of Bengal National College. And other point is that the volunteers corps or samitis were also formed. Okay, during Swadeshi movement. That is mass mobilization. Example like Swadeshi and Bandav Samiti. Okay, so those were under the volunteers corps that was started up during Swadeshi and boycott movement. So in 1908, okay, so coming back to 1908, we have the point number one is the severe government repression took place, and number two is there were internal clashes, okay, between the extremists and moderate. And point number three is the leaders were jailed and they were deported. They were sent to jail or they were deported to other countries. Okay, they were sent to other countries. Example like Bapin Chandrapal, Aurobindo Ghosh, they took voluntarily retirement. Okay, and see, during the revolution, student women for the first time practiced in the movement. All right, so come back now moving back to Gandhian principle, the socialism, the revolutionary ideas, all those took place during the year 1908. Okay, so finally in 1911 partition was revoked by Lord Hardin. Okay, so this is all about chapter 4. Okay, that is all about chapter 4. And from here and there I have explained, because if we are to explain in detail everything, it might take around 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, so in order to shorten it, I have compiled everything at one. Okay, so if you have any doubts, confusion, I want you guys to please review your textbook as well as listen to the explanation once again thoroughly. Okay, so see, I'm leaving you two questions. Question number one: in which year British government officially declared partition of Bengal? Okay, that is, in which year British government officially declared partition of Bengal? And question number two: who among the following was responsible for the partition? Okay, I'm leaving you behind two questions, so that is you have to answer it. Okay, so that's it, and that's the end of